Good day, students. So previous lecture we discussed about the basic working of spark ignition as well as compression ignition engine. So now we will discuss about the various parts of the internal combustion engine. So I have been mentioning about a piston, crankshaft, inlet valve, exhaust valve, parts like that. So what are these parts actually? So this image will give you a clear understanding or clear idea of various parts. So as you can see, this orange part is called as the piston. Right? So this orange part is called as the piston, and it is connected to the crankshaft. So this shaft, this yellow shaft is called golden shaft. Is called, the golden thing is called as the crankshaft. So it drives the other parts. So it is called as the crankshaft. So the piston and the crankshaft is connected through a connecting rod. So piston, crankshaft, these two parts are connected with the help of a connecting rod. So if you see the movement, piston actually, it has a translation movement, that is up and down movement. Whereas shaft, as the name indicates, is a rotating part. So how this translation motion is converted into rotation motion? Here, one form of motion is converted into another form of motion. So that is done with the help of a mechanism. So machine is a combination of different mechanisms. So here, the linear motion of the piston or translation motion of the piston is converted into rotary motion of the crankshaft. So that is done with the help of a connecting rod. So connecting rod converts the linear motion into rotary motion. This is an important concept. So this is done. So how the valves are opening? So if an engine starts running, it runs on its own. We will not be giving any additional motions to the machine. It will run on its own. Once you start the engine, it will run on its own. So who does the process of opening the inlet valve and exhaust valves? So that is done with the help of another shaft called as the camshaft. So crankshaft drives power. So power from the crankshaft is transmitted to the crankshaft through these pulleys. As you can see here, a pulley system is transmitting the power of the crankshaft to the camshaft. So camshaft consists of series of cams. So cams are parts which are used for providing periodic motion. Periodic motion is motion will take place for a short period of time. That is, if you take a 360-degree rotation, that is, if you take a minute, it will provide motion for some certain seconds only. So that is called as periodic motion. So these camshafts consist of cams which are arranged in such a way, as you can see here. So they will provide motion to the valve. So if you see the first red valve, it is opened by the first cam. So it will touch the valve in particular point only. So the point end of the cam, when it touches the valve opens. Similarly, when the point end moves away, the valve closes. So this periodic motion is provided with the help of the camshaft. So camshafts provide the opening and time for opening and closing of this inlet valve and exhaust valves. So other than that, there is a part called as flywheel, which is used in an internal combustion engine. So the purpose of flywheel I will discuss with you in the next lecture video. So far, what are the parts we have seen and we will discuss now. We have seen about the inlet valve and exhaust valve in the previous lecture itself. We discussed about the piston, connecting rod, crankshaft, as well as the camshaft. So rest of the components we will discuss in the subsequent lecture. Thank you.